10 o'clock. I want to welcome you to the to the meeting this morning. At this point, I want to remind you to silence your cell phones if you have those. This meeting will be live streamed during the course of our time together. This is the Mississippi Board of Education meeting, December 21st, 2023. We're beginning at 10 o'clock a.m., fourth floor boardroom, Central High School building, Mississippi Department of Education, 359 Northwest Street, Jackson, Mississippi. We now call our meeting to order, and I've asked Dr. McGehee to lead us in the pledge, and I will lead us in the morning invocation.
All rise. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow with me. Most gracious Heavenly Father, first let us reach out to Paula Vanderford and her family as they are dealing with the loss of a family member. Be with them and work them through this time of grief and help them to find a happier life moving forward. Also remind everyone here, Father, that we're here for the benefit of the children, the teachers, the staff, and of the education in our state. Help us to make those decisions that will make sure those individuals have a clearer path of academic achievement, learning from each other, and become productive members of our great state. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. You've got before you the revised minutes of the September 29, 23 special call board meeting, minutes of the November 9th board meeting, minutes of the December 11th board meeting, minutes of the December 12th board meeting, and minutes of the December 20th special call board meeting. May I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved. Second.
He with a motion. Mr. Pruitt with a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You also have in front of you the agenda for today's meeting. Are there any additions or deletions that we need to make? None. The motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Jacobs on the move, Ms. Werner on the second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you also have in front of you our consent agenda. For those that don't regularly attend, we have our agendas delivered to us well before the meeting today and have a chance to go through the things that are on consent agenda, ask staff any questions. And so we do a large group of items under consent. Is there anything that needs to be pulled from the consent? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Miller on the motion, Mr. Pruitt on the second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So we have a recommendation ceremony today as a nun, right? Am I right reading this correctly? Very good. We're quickly to you.
All right. Well, of course, I want to welcome Dr. Lance Evans, our incoming state superintendent. He and his wife, Brandy. Lance is an outstanding educator and one I consider a friend, and he's done a tremendous job at New Albany and excited for his leadership moving Mississippi forward. So, Lance, we appreciate you guys being here. Some of the things we've had going on, we had our college and career ready business roundtable last week. Had quite a few business leaders in and just talking about ways to increase opportunities for kids in the area of internships. We also met with the Department of Labor just to kind of help make that a little easier on school districts as well. Visited with Dean J. Rowe and Dean Rock from Mississippi State and Ole Miss, respectively, and our vice chair of the House Ed Committee, just strategies to address our teacher shortage that we have in our state as well. Also had the privilege to meet with Mr. Mike Ward. He's the NAEP ambassador to talk about, and also the former North Carolina State Superintendent, a really good guy. But just to talk about the 2024 NAEP administration and what's coming forward with that. Also met with our Southeast Regional Administrator from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to talk about just child nutrition, summer feeding programs, kind of just a more of a meet and greet and some things they have coming down the line. And then some of our more national meetings, some of our senior leadership and I were able to attend the Chief State School Officers Annual Policy Forum, and then also the Foundation for Excellence in Education National Summit. But one thing I wanted to highlight that I was really proud of is our literacy team here at the Department of Ed. They have done a tremendous job, and they put on the Mississippi Literacy Association Conference. It was down on the coast and had about 750 educators attend, so it was very well attended and very well done, and just really proud of the work they're doing. But also, and it went out on I believe on the Ed Updates this week as we make our move towards having some more resources for our teachers when it comes to the adolescent reading program, and just moving our kids forward. As y'all have seen our NAEP scores, how we do really well in 4th grade, but we kind of slack off a little when it comes to 8th grade. And so that initiative is moving forward, and there's some professional development opportunities out for our districts right now. And then also we'll look to have some more districts piloting this training over the next few months. So we're excited about that, but I did want to give a shout out to our literacy team as they really put together a great conference. So Dr. Boone and your team, and Tanette Smith, I saw her in here earlier. Their teams really have done a tremendous job. Also, we were able to visit quite a few school districts. We visited East Tallahatchie and visited with them, West Bolivar, Yazoo City, and Humphreys County. I was able to go and take a tour of the Mississippi School for Math and Science and visit with Dr. Tedder, who's there as the interim leader there for the School for Math and Science, and that was a really interesting day to just visit with them. Also later, some of our legislative leadership, and Holly Spivey and Donna Boone, also visited the School for Math and Science as well. Also was able to drop by Columbia School District and visit with them, and then one of the highlights of the month was visiting Lewisburg Elementary School in DeSoto County. We were able to go there and take part in their National Blue Ribbon School celebration, so that was a lot of fun as well. Then, as you guys remember, the Office of State Auditor, they have contracted with BCG Consulting to do some efficiency audits across the different 13 state agencies. And so we had our draft recommendations about opportunities for cost efficiencies, really for districts, within districts in areas like procurement, utilities, insurance was a big one, clerical support, career and technical education. And then they also recommended, and I found this interesting, one of the recommendations was school attendance officers be moved under the purview of local school districts, which is also one of our legislative asks. So that was really neat to see an outside group also recognize that as a need. Otherwise, everybody's just kind of gearing up for the holidays, and just hope everybody has a great Christmas. But the staff here has been working hard, and I know everybody's ready to get through this week and then go enjoy some time with family. So appreciate you guys being here, and hope that you guys all have a great Christmas. So
Thank you,
that's
sir.
all I have. Thank you.
As chair, we've been pretty busy the last 2 months, 3 months, whatever how long this has been. But I do want to stop and say, we've had Kim Benton, Mike Kent, Ray Morgino, that have all come in and fixed or helped us through this process of where we are today, and let you know that Lance Evans will be the state superintendent beginning July 1. Dr. Morgino's work with the partnerships in business, the workforce development, that's that flag. We're going to see that fly at the end of this time. So here. So to all those individuals before that have helped us through this process, have filled holes, have done what we need to do to keep the department rolling, the great staff here that really makes it easier on, I think, all of these individuals, thank you very much. So we will begin that shift and transition. I know that Lance and Ray will be talking over the course of the next 6 months, and I look forward to what we bring forward in the future, visionary-wise, keen on the traditions that we have in our state. I will tell you that the Mississippi Miracle is falling in those shoes. We got to make sure we keep those on and keep rolling. And so there's a piece there that we're all just very cognizant of as we move forward. So thank you for what you're doing right now, Ray. We appreciate that more than you really know. And Lance, look forward to your work. here in about 6 months. But Ray's going to keep you pulled back until he can turn you loose there when the time comes. So thank both of you gentlemen for being here today. So the funnest part of the meeting for me is when we get to listen to our student representatives. And so I believe Kate, it's your turn to go first today as the junior representative. So the floor is yours.
All right, y'all, good morning. So, first of all, I'll just give you a little recap of my December because it has been very action-packed. We started out, we had the Christmas parade in Oxford. I had to participate in that. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be. And then that following Friday, we came down here to Jackson for our dance state competition, and we got first. So that was super exciting. It was a first for Lafayette. And we got to design our state rings. But the next morning, I woke up and took the ACT, and that went well. I got the score I wanted, so I'm very excited for that. And we're on blocks, so we're finishing up our classes and taking finals and gearing up to switch to all new classes. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about the importance of keeping kids involved throughout middle and high school, because ever since I was younger, since probably about 4th grade when my little brother was born, I've been bouncing from dance practice to school to softball practice to just basically every activity. And I had a little sister who was involved in as many things as I was, and then I had a new brother, and it was very challenging for not only myself but for my mom, and it was just bouncing all that taught me a lot at such a young age. And I feel as though when we go and try and teach responsibility and other soft skills to high school students, counselors and other teachers struggle trying to enforce that into students. And I feel that that would come a lot easier if we encouraged participation in these activities to younger students, to middle school students. I know at my school we have junior beta and junior student council and just choir, band, all these other activities that not only teach kids valuable things, but are fun. I remember having a lot of fun on these trips. I mean, we came down here to Jackson and we toured the Capitol, and we would go to, I think my sister, she went to Sky Zone. Like, she did all these fun things, and it taught her a lot because she was away from her mom from one night, and she had to kind of, learn responsibility and all these other things. And I found this research. Let me pull it up real quick for you guys. Okay. The National Center for Education Statistics states that students who participated in extracurriculars are 3 times as likely to perform in the top quartile on composite math and reading assessment compared with non-participants. Participants were also more likely to aspire to higher education to complete at least a bachelor's degree, while about half as non-participants expected to do so. Not only is this good for students just in high school, but it's going to help them throughout their entire life, really. And I think the younger that we enforce these soft skills into students, it's only going to benefit throughout their life versus teaching things that students need to know in a year or two when they're
Great job. There's a piece of research, and don't make me quote my source, that says that students that read constantly and students that participate in up to 3 extracurricular activities will be more likely to be successful moving forward, not only in college but in life. So
I
very
agree.
good report. I'm trying to remember the company, the organization that produced that. I'll probably remember at 2 o'clock this morning, Charlie. Your turn, sir.
All right, yes, sir. Before I get started today, number 1, I'm always down for a shout out to the literacy crew over here, so I love that. And number 2, I want to thank Mr. Kramer for my MSIS 2.0 shirt. I did not wear it today, but I've got the Finding Bigfoot. Don't worry, I'll be wearing it very often. So thank you. All right, so good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. So I'm not sure everybody knows, but today was Oxford's last day in class, and I am here. So thank you. So over the past month or so, I've had a few conversations, a few experiences that I'd like to share, and I'll see if y'all can pick up on the common theme. So over Thanksgiving break, I had a few meetings with some current cadets and current midshipmen at the U.S. Military Academy and the U.S. Naval Academy. Through their admissions representatives, they reached out to some potential appointees in Mississippi for informal conversations. I got to ask all sorts of questions about their lives at the academies. And this is significant for two reasons. The first is that they were on Thanksgiving break, and they hadn't been home in months. And instead of spending their rare free time with their families, they were spending it with potential appointees from their home state. And this brings me to my second point, which is that these cadets and midshipmen are clearly exceptional men. They attend the academies. But they graduated from Mississippi schools to go out of state. And when they came back, they didn't forget the younger students that came behind them. And they're giving back to their home state, even if they go to school elsewhere. Another conversation I sat in on was through Oxford's Marine JROTC program in November. Now, Oxford has a standout program, and in November, I want to get this right, they hosted the Deputy Undersecretary of the Navy, Mr. Victor Minella. Now, Mr. Minella advises the Secretary of the Navy and other high-ranking military officials on matters of intelligence, sensitive activities, special operations, and irregular warfare. Now, after joining the Navy as a corpsman in 1987, he graduated the University of Mississippi with honors and commissioned as an officer in the U.S. Navy. Now he's a civilian advisor in Washington, D.C., and he spoke to Oxford's JROTC unit while in Oxford. Now, the final experience I'll share with y'all is about 2 weeks ago. I attended the Army-Navy football game in Boston with my two brothers and my dad. Now, though the Academy's football is subpar to what we're used to watching here in Mississippi, the cadets and the midshipmen are top-tier students and individuals. This was an excellent opportunity for me to see and speak to a few cadets and mids. And the Army-Navy game, the atmosphere is unlike any other. I cannot suggest it enough. So I imagine you all can see the common theme in these conversations, an appreciation for our military. And now turning that into education policy, I want to focus on two concepts. The first is highlighted through both my experience with the cadets and mids over Thanksgiving and also with Mr. Minella coming home to speak. That common theme is giving back to our state, regardless of where we go. Now, brain drain is a real issue that our state must face head on. However, individuals like these students or Mr. Minella, although not living in Mississippi, are still giving back to their home states. And the second concept I want to touch on is the importance of JROTC support throughout the department and in the legislature right now. Dr. Morgino and Mr. East have certainly done this idea justice in all of their reports, but I want to reiterate their points as well. Now, JROTC is a military-based leadership and citizenship training program taught at dozens of Mississippi high schools. Members do not incur any service obligation, and they're introduced to concepts and mentorship they otherwise wouldn't encounter. Now, I've spoken about Boy Scouts previously, and JROTC and Scouts share many of the same values. Scouting taught me the values of clean living, of cheerful service to others, of duty to God and country. They both emphasize self-reliance and outdoor skills while also teaching leadership and providing mentors to students. Members of the legislature, officials here at the department, and many statewide elected leaders have voiced support for our JROTC programs across the state. And I'm sure you've all heard dozens of speeches outlining the benefits of JROTC, so I'll save you from all that. I do want to touch on the lower absentee rates, the higher ACT scores, the higher graduation rates that our JROTC students have. So as we move into a new year and a new session with new goals and new ideas, let us remember the benefit of our military and JROTC units provide, and let us continue our support of our cadets. Thank you.
Very well. So if I say, go Navy, your response is supposed to be what?
Oh, I can't say that here.
You can't? I thought it was like beat Army or something. Didn't work out that way, though, the game.
Charlie, I thought you might be getting ready to make an announcement.
Oh, I can't. Not yet. I hadn't decided yet. Don't worry.
Okay.
That'll come coming months.
You'll be here through April?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
He will be. And then Kate gets to take over when
right.
he moves on. Thank you both for your reports today. Always great information for us, both personally and also hearing what students across the state really are concerned about. All right, we did not have any education subcommittee meetings. I wonder why. I think we were having full board meetings in their places. And so that brings us to 9:01, to modify the contract of interim superintendent for Tunica County School District. Mr. Kent.
Mr. East, I believe it was Bob Hope that said never follow children or animals in a show, and so I appreciate you putting at least one item between me and the young people here, and I want to chide you for not having something to give me a little bit of a buffer
I'll
here.
make sure we have something to do the next time, please, sir.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
So let me begin with a little context on this particular item. I think all of us in the education world know how difficult it would be to hire a superintendent to begin work in January. Now, we are bound by 37, 17, 16, I believe it is, council, on this particular thing, and so that's what that law contemplates, is that this person would begin January 1, new superintendent in Tunica. The Tunica Board has discovered what we know, which is it is virtually impossible to hire someone with experience and the degree of competency that you would probably be looking for at this time of year. So, after an emergency board meeting this past Monday morning, the board has requested that we continue in the current mode in which we're operating until they have a time to develop a sufficient pool of candidates and make a good selection for their new superintendent. In order to do that, we need to extend Dr. Pulley's contract. So that's how we got to where we are with this particular board item. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is Dr. Pulley good with this?
She's here to testify.
Mr. Miller,
Yeah,
I've
yes.
also told her that there will not be another resolution at the end of this time frame either. We've got the best we can for the first one, so. Seeing no other questions, I'll accept a motion to recommend
Second.
Ronnie McGehee on the motion, Mary Warner on the second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving to Dr. Gavin, approval of the MDE grant.
Good morning. We have one contract coming before the board for renewal, and that is with Reading and Language Arts Center, which is DBA Brainspring. We're in year 2 out of 5 of that contract, so this is the second year renewal of that contract.
Any questions for Dr. Gavin on that one? All right, may I take a motion to accept the contract for the, under the Office of the Chief Operations Officer? Is there a motion? Mr. Jacobs with the motion. In a second. Mr. Pruitt on the second. Again, no questions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 3A, grant, under grants, we have one modification for the board's approval, and it's to modify our Early Learning Collaborative Council grants. We have 3 schools that we were seeking approval to increase that grant. They are able to increase the number of seats. So we're asking for a modification to increase those funds for those 3 institutions.
I have a motion for
So moved.
Mary Warner. Second, Mr. McGehee. Any questions of Dr. Gavin on that one? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. So you have before you the consent agenda. Under consent agenda, I have a motion to approve items A through U. Anybody?
So moved. Sorry. Second.
Matt Miller on the motion, Mr. Pruitt on the second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thought the crickets were going to get us there for a minute here. All right, do we need to consider executive session today?
I move that the board consider making a closed determination of the need to go into executive session.
Moved by Mr. Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McGehee on the second, or Dr. McGehee on the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So at this point, we'll pause our live stream and
Oh, I need this. Hello. I was just going to read the agenda. Good. The board has gone into executive session for discussion of discrete personnel matters in accordance with Mississippi Code annotated Section 254174A and K.
That was on the local.
This is what WW.
When we were at Harvard, we also were there during July. Red Sox.
No, and that's what he said it was not. That was the picture that was run.
Well, that is just a local.
I don't think I have any.
Good night.
On top of it.
They thought, we just recycled that guy, we brought it back.
I got it.
She attached a link to the bio page.
That's just so not paying attention.
Because that, I was blown away about people.
Welcome back,
You on
everyone.
vacation now?
Our last day was Friday, the 18th, so
Hey, look,
Go back?
January 8th.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yes, I'm very grateful for that. I'm afraid I'm gonna forget this.
Get your seatmate back over here where you're supposed to be.
Came on a Wednesday. It was the best because it's
Welcome
just.
back, everyone. Thank you for giving us some time this morning. We will let you know that during executive session, we decided to at least pay the new state superintendent. We will stick with that salary of $300,000 moving forward, which will begin on July 1 for him. So that was our executive session conversation. So congratulations on the job, and there's your couple of pennies to make it worth your while. So, any other closing comments or discussions from board members at this point? Accept a motion to adjourn the meeting. Oh, excuse me, I've got a line here, it's my fault. We will meet again on January the 18th here in Jackson, at the Central High School building on the 4th floor, starting at 10 o'clock a.m. I will tell every one of you, this is a tired group of people up here. Thanks to Sonia and Darla and Donna and Tamula, we have had a lot of fun here the last 2 or 3 months, so thank you for your work. Now, Mary, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
I'm gonna go with Mr. McGee on that one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed?
None.
Okay. Motion carries. Y'all have a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you, same to you.